Welcome to the Chick of Science. Today we are going to do our Mel Chemistry Tin experiment, and I am going to include my baby chicks. I'm missing a chick. I'm missing a chick. Where's my other baby chick at? Okay, have a seat. Shh. Okay, now the things that we're going to need to do this experiment, it would be helpful to have a cell phone. It would be helpful to have an iPad as well. You'll need your tin experiment set, and you'll need the starter set that came with the kit. Now, the first thing that you should do is you're going to open up your iPad or phone.
Or just turn it.
And you are going to go into the Mel Chemistry app. And when you go in, it will give you instructions. And it will tell you what to take out from the starter kit. So the first thing we need is our
Safety glasses.
okay. Safety, yes, safety glasses first. So if my little chicks can put their safety glasses on, that would be great. Okay, stop. You're going to need your tray. And you're going to want your smartphone clip-on macro lens. And if you don't already have a stand like we have for our iPad, you'll want the stand so that you can read the directions, but we won't need ours. So that's what we need from inside the kit. Each of you needs to put on a pair of gloves. So I believe that the purple set is the smaller set.
So I want this.
So you'll get the blue set and you're gonna have to use the purple set, okay? So
No, that won't be fair.
Well, his hands are smaller than yours.
Well, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, you're going to also need the pin opener. In this case, it's just the paper clip that they have bent to open.
My hands are here.
You might want to take out your information card about the Tin Hedgehog. It has the experiment inside as well. It's fine. It says you'll need your plastic vial.
Cheap. Because we like vials.
You need
No, we
your
like cheapos.
chemicals. So you will need your zinc chloride. Oops. Oh, goodness. There you go. Your bottle nozzle. Looks like this. Bottle nozzle. You're also going to need your zinc pellets. Right here. And that should be all.
And that should be cheap.
Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the camera. All right, so we're not touching yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my camera and I'm going to put the macro lens, so that's you have to separate it in half. Yeah, well. Okay, so I'm gonna fit the macro lens on, and we're gonna come back to that in a few minutes. We'll need that later. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is prepare the tin chloride solution.
I think that.
No, that's not what you think it is. So what we want to do is we need to take the tin chloride and the sodium mixture. Just stop. We are not touching anything yet. We need to open them. Mommy's gonna do it for you, okay? All right, so that's open. Don't touch. Don't touch. Now what we need to do is we need to poke a hole. I'm gonna let Lizzie do this part. Poke, there's a stopper in here. You need to poke it all the way down. Push it all the way down. Is it down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna let Ben do the next part. Ben, you're going to very carefully pour that in here.
All of it?
Yep, give it a squeeze. Keep going. Make sure it all gets in the bottle. All right, is it empty? I think it might be. All right, here, let's put that cap back on there and set it aside.
I'll put it back on.
Thank you. Okay. Then we are going to put our bottle topper on here. Hopefully that's on there snugly.
Snuggle.
And then we need the red cap, which we've used before. Let's put that aside. Okay. So we are going to take this and we are going to put it on here. And then what we do is it gives us a timer, and we need to shake this for 30 seconds. So on my go, Ben and then you both can do it. Okay, so Ben, you got halfway, go ahead. So for 15 seconds, Ben's going to shake it, and then for 15 seconds, Elizabeth will shake it. And as you do this, the timer in the app is going to count down for you.
My
Lizzie's turn. Go ahead. Let Lizzie shake it. Okay.
Then I think we're doing this.
So you want to take the cap off of the vial? Okay. Set it down. Yep, right here. Okay. So that's done. Now we're going to fill the plastic vial halfway. It'll be Lizzie's turn.
Okay. Since
So
I took that.
carefully, Lizzie, because remember we put this bottle topper on here and it could fall out. So just squeeze it easily into the thing and let it fill halfway. Make sure you're over the vial. You should have some left when you're done. Zinc pellets look like this. They're very tiny, and we're going to put one in, and it should wait to put it in though, Ben, because we wanna get ready and take some photos and video. Wait, Benny, wait. We wanna get our camera ready. So Lizzie, if you wanna, oops, we don't wanna do that yet.
It's blowy.
So we wanna make it so that we can keep an eye on this. Okay, wait.
Now?
Go ahead and drop that in. Okay, and immediately, and Ben, if you look on here, you're going to start to see crystals forming on the outside of the zinc pellet. Now, there is a timer for this as well, and it says it needs 15 minutes for your crystals to completely form. So I did this earlier today, and after I was finished, I left it go and waited for the kids to get home from school so that they could see the pellet with the crystals on it when they got home from school. And simply by allowing it to sit here for an hour, we were able to get very large crystals. So the crystals kept forming even after the 15 minutes, but it is very noticeable after the 15-minute mark. And as Ben said, he can already see crystals forming on it
Without the phone.
without the phone.
Do the crystals go back into the lock?
No. So what happened here is we had a solution that had tin in it, and we put a zinc pellet in. Now we call this a replacement reaction. Basically, the tin and the zinc swapped places, and basically the zinc would rather be in the solution and the tin would rather become a solid. So what happens is the outer layers of the zinc molecules dissolve into solution while the tin that's in the solution begins to precipitate on the pellet that we placed inside. And because the tin, when it forms in crystal shape, it will form these nice crystals. Now, Elizabeth asked earlier if she could keep her tin hedgehog, and the answer is no, you can't. Not because I wouldn't allow her to, it's really pretty and I think it would be awesome, but the problem is, number one, it's very, very brittle, and once you would take it out of the solution, it's going to break under its own weight because it's so brittle it can't support itself. The other thing is you could keep it in the solution for a short amount of time, but eventually the solution becomes cloudy and you wouldn't be able to see it. So you have to dispose of it. And the easiest way to do that is the metal can just go right in the garbage, and the solutions we can dump down the drain. None of these are toxic, so that's how we'll dispose of these when we're finished. Do you have another question? Do you have another question?
How does the solution get foggy?
Well, basically, the liquid inside the vial would evaporate and it leaves the salt in the solution behind, and that's going to start to make it look cloudy. As it gets saltier and saltier, it will get cloudy looking. So we did take some pictures, and we can leave it go for a little while longer and see how much bigger it gets and maybe take some more pictures when we're finished. But basically, that is our experiment. That's our tin hedgehog. So the card inside then explains how the particles replace each other and swap places. And it also talks about, so the card inside you may want to take a look at. It will explain what has happened during the reaction. It also has some interesting information on the back. And in this case, it talks about how tin is very brittle and can crumble very easily. And they say that Robert Scott learned the hard way because when he took his expedition to the Antarctic and tried to get through, of course it didn't work so well for them. And part of the reason that they say that might have been the case is because their fuel was soldered with tin. And in the cold, it crumbled and allowed their fuel to leak away. So there's interesting facts on it as well. This information can also be found on the app. At the end of the experiment, if you go to this last portion here, it says read the scientific description, which is here, other interesting facts, and it has a section for follow-up. If you wanted to do a science fair experiment, this sets you up very nicely to do that. You could take, and instead of using the solution that they've provided, you can dilute it. This would make a very good science experiment. You could start with the original, and that would be your control. And then you could base off of this control what you could do if you, say, diluted this with some water. Probably would be best not to use tap water, like distilled water, because tap water can have other minerals in it, but you could do that as well. What if you diluted it with distilled water and with tap water, and you had different vials, and you used the different pellets to do different comparisons to the original hedgehog that you made. So Mel Science Chemistry, this is the tin hedgehog experiment, and it was a pretty fun experiment. It was very simple to do. The kids were able to do it. I wasn't worried that they would get hurt or anything. Stay tuned for us to do our final tin experiment, our tin dendrite.
And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Boom.
Yes. Make sure you subscribe. Bye.